Have you ever wondered why people are paying real money for invisible coins on the internet? And why one of those coins, Bitcoin, has been called digital gold? In the next few minutes, you will understand what Bitcoin actually is, why it exists, how it works under the hood, and why millions of people care about it. Let's dive in. So, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a form of digital money that lives on the internet. You cannot hold it in your hand like a coin or a note, but you can send it to anyone, anywhere in the world without asking a bank for permission. Think of it as a global, borderless currency that runs on code instead of companies or governments. A few key points. Bitcoin is decentralized. There is no single company, bank, or person in charge. The network is run by thousands of computers all over the world. The rules are written in software. How many Bitcoins can exist, how transactions work, and how new coins are created are all defined by code, not by politicians or central banks. You control it with a digital wallet. A Bitcoin wallet is like a banking app, but you are the bank. If you hold the keys to your wallet, you control your Bitcoin. Ask yourself this: what would it mean to have money that nobody can freeze, print more of, or shut down? To understand Bitcoin, we need to go back to 2008 and 2009. In 2008, the world went through a huge financial crisis. Banks took big risks, many failed, and governments stepped in, printing massive amounts of money to save the system. A mysterious person or group using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a document called a white paper. It proposed Bitcoin as a new kind of money, one that doesn't depend on banks, central authorities, or trusted middlemen. The core goals were digital cash without a central authority. Send value online the way you send an email, without needing PayPal, Visa, or a bank. A fixed supply. Only 21 million Bitcoins can ever exist. No one can simply decide to create more, which aims to protect against inflation. Transparency and trust in math, not in people. Every transaction would be recorded publicly, and the rules would be enforced by code. So ask yourself this: if you lived in a country where your money could be devalued overnight, would a fixed, transparent system sound attractive? To make all of this possible, Bitcoin uses a technology called blockchain. That word gets thrown around a lot, but what does it really mean? Imagine a public notebook that everyone can see, but no one can erase or rewrite. Every time someone sends Bitcoin, that transaction is written in this notebook. Transactions are grouped into blocks. A block is like a page in the notebook that contains many transactions. Blocks are linked together. Each new block references the one before it, forming a chain of blocks. That is the blockchain. The shared is shared. Thousands of computers around the world keep a copy of this notebook. If one copy disappears, the network still runs. Because so many independent computers agree on the same history of transactions, it becomes extremely hard to cheat. To fake a transaction, you would need to overpower the majority of the network, which is incredibly expensive. So the blockchain is basically a shared, unchangeable history of who owns what. Now, how does this notebook stay secure and up to date? That is where mining comes in. Bitcoin mining is a process where computers compete to solve very hard mathematical puzzles. Here's the simple version. Miners collect new transactions. When you send Bitcoin, your transaction goes to a pool of pending transactions. Miners bundle them into a block. They then try to solve a puzzle linked to that block. The puzzle is designed to be difficult and random. The first miner to solve it broadcasts the new block. Other computers check the block. If everything is valid, they add it to their copy of the blockchain. As a reward, the winning miner receives newly created Bitcoins plus transaction fees. This is how new Bitcoins enter the system. Two important ideas. Mining secures the network. Because it's costly to mine, attacking the network would require enormous computing power and electricity. The reward gets cut in half roughly every 4 years. This event is called the halving. It slows down new supply over time. You can think of mining like digital gold digging. Miners spend energy and resources to discover new blocks, and in return, they earn Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is just digital, why are people buying it? Different people have different reasons, but here are the big ones. Store of value. Because the supply is limited to 21 million, some people see Bitcoin as digital gold that protects against inflation and money printing. Freedom and control. You can send Bitcoin across borders without needing a bank. For people in countries with unstable currencies or strict controls, this is a big deal. Investment and speculation. Many buy Bitcoin hoping its price will rise over time, like buying a stock. This can be profitable, but it's also very risky and volatile. Belief in a new financial system. Some see Bitcoin as the first step towards a more open, transparent, and fair global money system. Ask yourself this: do you trust your local currency to hold its value over the next 10 years? Your answer to that question is a big part of whether Bitcoin makes sense to you. To see how far Bitcoin has come, let's look at a few important moments. 2009, the network goes live. The first block is mined by Satoshi Nakamoto, called the Genesis block. 2010, the first real-world purchase. A programmer famously buys 2 pizzas for 10,000 BTC. Back then, it was just an experiment. Today, those coins would be worth an enormous amount. 2013 to 2017. First major booms and crashes. Bitcoin's price swings wildly. It gains attention from media, investors, and regulators. 2020 to 2021. Institutional interest grows. Large companies, funds, and even some public firms start buying Bitcoin and offering Bitcoin-related products. Ongoing. Regulation and mainstream integration. Governments around the world debate how to regulate Bitcoin. Payment apps and financial platforms slowly add Bitcoin support. Each milestone shows a pattern, from being an obscure idea on a mailing list to something the global financial system has to pay attention to. Before we wrap up, it's important to mention the risks. Price volatility. Bitcoin's price can swing up or down by double digits in a short time. You should only invest money you can afford to lose. Security and responsibility. If you lose access to your wallet or your private keys, you can lose your Bitcoin permanently. There's no "forgot my password" button on the blockchain. Regulatory uncertainty. Laws and rules around Bitcoin are still evolving. Changes in regulation can affect how easy it is to use or trade it. Understanding both the opportunities and the risks is key before getting involved. Let's quickly recap. Bitcoin is digital money that runs on a global network of computers, not on banks. It was created after the 2008 financial crisis to offer an alternative to traditional money systems, with a fixed supply and transparent rules. It uses blockchain to record every transaction in a public, unchangeable ledger, and mining to secure the network and release new coins. People buy Bitcoin as a store of value, as a way to gain financial freedom, as an investment, and because they believe in a new kind of financial system. So, what about the future? Nobody knows exactly where Bitcoin will go next. It could become a widely accepted global asset, a powerful tool for people in unstable economies, or it could stay a volatile niche investment. The real question is, as money goes more digital every year, do you want to understand and possibly use a form of money that is native to the internet? If this video helped you grasp Bitcoin a little bit better, imagine how much more there is to learn about the wider crypto world. Thanks for listening, and keep asking questions. That's the best way to stay ahead in a changing financial landscape.